Good evening everyone, I'm Nat Adamopoulos and this is Full On Football, the show that promotes local South Australian football. Well, it's been another big week. We had the round one of the Cup round, the Top Corner Sports Cup, and we had a full weekend of football. So if you didn't get your fill of football, I don't know what is going to make you happy. Look, we've got plenty of footage tonight again. I went out to 3 different matches. So if you like footage, you're going to like the show tonight. And I'll tell you another thing that you're going to like on the show tonight, and that's our first guest. He's been with us before and he's come back again. He couldn't resist himself. And that, of course, is Charlie Bowman from Adelaide Hills Hawks.
Thanks, Nat. Thanks for that.
Welcome back.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
It's been a little while, hasn't it?
It's been a while, yeah. It was after the grand finals last year. Yeah.
Now, the first thing I need to ask you, obviously you got promoted into Super League, and let me tell you, you're doing quite well. I've been to see quite a few of your matches and you're really holding your own. Yeah,
we're fairly happy, I suppose, with our start. A little disappointed on the weekend, but yeah, we feel like we've matched it in all the games we've played so far, and 5 points from the first 5 is probably pretty fair.
Very, very different to the previous time when you came into the Super League. I don't know how to put it without being disrespectful.
It
was like you know, you were the new kids on the block. I don't know, underdone, came back in and then popped straight back down to Premier League. But this time, your approach is a lot different, and the style of football and the way you're playing football, especially the first round, was absolutely brilliant. Let me tell you, that match against Adelaide City, I thought you were very unlucky not to get something out of that.
Yeah, we came in with a plan sort of to try and hold them as long as we could and maybe catch one on the break, and we almost did that in that first game. We were probably only 5 minutes away from a 0-0. But yeah, in respect to last time we came up, we probably came up with a weaker team than got us promoted, and that's never a good sign. We actually got promoted from 5th by winning all the finals games we had up until the last one. But this, you know, last year we won the league quite comfortably and won the finals as well. So we're much stronger this year, being in Super League.
Now look, you've retained a good core of your local players, but you've also recruited. Now, one that stands out for me is Damien Poyenbrook has been playing absolutely beside himself, actually.
Absolutely, he was with us a couple of years ago before he went back to Port for a year. But yeah, really good to have him back. He's been immense at the back there with Mark Donk, and I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I think we've only conceded 4 or 5 goals in the first 5 games, and he's a big part of that. He's been in the best pretty much most weeks, and about 6'11", he seems to win everything in the air. So
he does.
Definitely a great recruit for us, with Charles Maui at the back as well.
Yes, I was going to say Charles as well, very strong in the back. And then of course up front, well, you're in midfield and you command that midfield and you do it very well, and I have to say very entertaining as well. But up front, of course, Nathan Elliott probably hasn't scored as much as he wanted to, but he's still in there in the mix.
That's true. We sort of play a different formation than we did last year when we were quite attacking. We scored a lot of goals last year. He's sort of had to play a lone striker a lot of the time, which I'm sure he's not too happy about, but he works harder than any other player in our team, I reckon, to keep the ball up there, and the goals will come for him. He's just a natural goal scorer. Yeah,
and as I said, very entertaining football. I've seen probably 3 out of the 5 matches, so I've not been disappointed. So hopefully you can keep up that momentum and get some points out of the next few matches. But towards the end of this segment, you have got a big game that you're up against.
Absolutely,
so we will talk about that. Let's have a look at the results for round 5 of the Super League. And some interesting results. It was the round of draws, basically, because we had, on the Thursday night, starting the Easter long weekend, Adelaide City up against Metrostars at Adelaide City Park, and that was a 1-1 draw with Patrick Deruvo coming on, scoring, and the goal that you're going to see in the footage by James Young was absolutely brilliant. He really snatched that goal very well. And then, of course, Campbelltown City and Raiders drew 1-1, Trimboli scoring early in the match, and then McGreevy scoring a late goal to equalise. Para Hills 0, Adelaide Galaxy 0. Again, a very close match, end-to-end stuff, and we'll have footage of that as well. Western Strikers, this was a night match, went down to Blue Eagles, the lone goal there, and that was basically after Joseph Chiala was sent off for basically taking Saranti Perizos' feet from underneath him, and then Saranti was able to get that goal late in the match as well. And of course, your match up against Modbury, I see a certain C. Bowman there on the mark, first time this season.
Yeah, nice to get off the mark, but probably a bit disappointed with that result. They're one of the teams that we need to probably beat twice to really push ourselves up the table. But they were good for a point in the end. We sort of fell apart a bit in the second half. But yeah, nice to get on the score sheet, but disappointed with the 1-1.
Definitely, and then that was Rhys Devlin that also scored for Mowbray. Now, let's have a look at some of that footage that we got, because we've got plenty of it. First game was City and Metrostars, as I said, the Thursday night match. And this was always going to be a very, very interesting match. Charlie, I mean, you've seen a couple of these matches, and were you out at this one as well?
I wasn't out at this one, no. We had training Thursday night, but I'm definitely looking for tips on how Metro play as we watch this. But City, obviously one of the stronger teams in the competition, and yeah, probably 1-1. Metro don't seem to have quite hit their stride yet, so as long as they don't do that this week, we'll be happy. Yes,
I've been watching Metro over the last few weeks as well. Again, same old. Mike Barnett will tell you they got plenty of chances, but they can't get them in the back of the net. And of course, we all know that that's the most important part of the game, to be able to take away your maximum points. This game here was really the classic game of two halves. It was all Metro first half, dominating, having lots of moves forward, shots at goal. Really giving the defence of Adelaide City a bit of problems. Paul Pesos, I have to say, was absolute champion, because he was in everything all night and really played beyond himself, and in the end had to come off injured because I think it was an ankle injury, and I don't know whether that's an old injury of his. And then the second half we had, and I think this is the goal that's coming up here, where we've got James Young that comes up and gets his goal. Yep. There you go, backward scissor kick. Not bad, is it?
Not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all. How was he left alone to do that? You have to ask the question, don't you?
Yeah, he sort of looks like he comes in from quite deep there and gets on the end of that, but yeah, he's fairly typical of him. I've seen him do that quite a bit.
Exactly, and yeah. I do call him the gazelle, because he does get up very, very high, and Ben Moore let his defenders know about that, because that followed a few passages of play where the defenders were caught off guard, and the forwards of Metrostars were able to get in. Then we had basically coming up towards a bit of bargy going on here. Damien Murray in the mix there, and the referee was trying to settle things down. The boys were getting hot-headed. In the end, he was able to do so, trying to pull them all away, as we can see there, which is keeps the crowd interested, doesn't it, Charlie?
That's what gets the crowds there. It's not necessarily the goals, it's a bit of the action when the ball's dead, but I can't remember a game when they didn't have a bit of that between these two, really.
Exactly, and it's happening a lot in matches, and I want to talk about this later on during this show, is sometimes inconsistencies by referees, and I am not singling out referees, but an inconsistent match by a referee, giving some frees and not giving others, does frustrate players. I'll have to ask you, what is it like when, you know, if you're not given a free and it is basically a blatant free and then it gets given against you? It must frustrate you.
It is obviously very frustrating, but you just really want the referees to be able to talk to you and explain their decisions. You don't necessarily agree with them. In fact, you almost never agree with the decisions the referees are making all the time, but as long as they explain themselves, you can't ask for any more than that. But consistency is almost impossible to get, but as close as you can is always nice. But it's very, very frustrating when you see some go one way and not the others.
Well, with some of the footage that we've got tonight, you will see some inconsistencies, and it needs to be addressed, because you know, there's positions on the ladder that are at stake. Now, as I said, Pesos here comes off injured because well, he copped a few shots into his back, into his leg, obviously through his great defending that he does, and in the end he was a broken man. He had to come off, and the second half City was the much better side. They were harder on the ball, quicker on the ball, and created a lot more chances. We had Negus coming on for Pesos, so they restructured their side, and then here we have coming up quite a few shots City's way, and that was another opportunity there for Adelaide City, and a shot by Murray that was saved by Godley, which is coming up now.
Murray
wasn't quite on song as he